Actually, the original idea for Healthy Vending started when my business partner saw a woman get on a treadmill, grab a Coca-Cola from the vending. She grabbed a Coca-Cola from the vending machine, hopped on a treadmill, and started running.
Nice.
And he's like, "WTF?"
Right. There seems to be a disconnect.
We're in a health club, and there's no healthy things to consume here.
Okay.
That's how it started.
Okay.
You're listening to Business Lunch with Roland Frasier. This is your seat at the table.
Hey, this is Roland Frasier. We're here today with Andy Mackensen from Snack Nation. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Roland. Pleasure to be here in the wine cave, I would call this.
We are in the wine cave at Rancho Valencia Resort downstairs, basically jacking apparently somebody's room that they're going to use for lunch. So hopefully they don't run us out here during this. But thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I know that we talked about was it like 2015 War Room?
Sometime in that range. I think it might have even been 2014.
Okay, cool. It was early in my relationship with Ryan and Perry and
Yes.
Richard, I know, because and we've changed a lot since then. But so and at the time you were doing a vending machine kind of thing. Will you tell us a little bit about what you were doing at that time, and then we were talking about pivoting, how you've evolved, and then I want to go back before that after we kind of get where you are right now. So let's talk about what's your business right now, what's it doing, what are you excited about, and then we'll go back into the annals of your memory and find out how you got to be where you are.
Yeah, well, so back in the day when I met you in 2014, we were running America's first healthy vending machine franchise. So we had a couple thousand healthy vending machines, a couple hundred franchisees nationwide owning and operating those machines.
And these were vending machines that were located in what kind of places?
Schools, hospitals,
Okay.
health clubs, those were the typical places.
Okay, so no sugary treats in these healthy vending machines.
Well, there's definitely some organic cane sugar, but the key thing for us was no chemicals, no colorings, no high fructose corn syrup.
Okay.
So wholesome ingredients, better for you snacks that if you look at the typical vending machine, Cheetos and whatnot,
Right.
these are snacks that are better for you.
Okay.
So
you had Sprite because that's refreshing and thirst quenching. And,
it's refreshing. I mean, you can see through it.
right.
So
I mean,
it must be good.
It's clean compared to Coke, for example.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No sugary sodas like that.
Okay.
And our mission was to make healthy food more convenient than junk food. We wanted to get healthy snacks out there and
Nice.
help people eat more healthily. And what we realized in that business was as we would call on different cities on behalf of franchisees to place these vending machines in the different locations, we had a lot of business leads, and we'd call these businesses that had, 20 to 100 employees. Those are the businesses that would be overlooked by vending companies.
Mm-hmm.
And so we saw a hole in the market, and we said, hey, why don't we just deliver snacks directly to these companies? They're not big enough for vending machines. We already have all the healthy snack knowledge. Let's curate snacks together in a box and see if we can get some customers that way and ship them out. And it turned out to start getting a lot of traction in 2015.
Nice.
And so that was right around the time that I was actually in War Room on a hot seat,
Right.
talking about this little fledgling business that we had on the side, like what should we do and how should we market it and all that. And there's
Right.
a massive amount of help from the War Room,
Fantastic.
Everyone in there. So
And so you built that business up to about 10 million, I think we were talking about, in sales.
the prior business, the healthy vending business.
And then despite rapid growth and a round of funding even, you decided to kind of do something else. What did you do, and what was the crazy bet, and why did you do it?
Yeah, well, so as we started curating snacks in these boxes and shipping them to businesses, this was the side business, we realized that ultimately it could help us accomplish our mission in a much bigger way. The business market was much larger than schools and hospitals. It was a recurring revenue business. It was better margins, and we were able to get the healthy snacks directly into the businesses without vending machines and without franchisees. So the entire thing made more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at retention data and just the overall economics of the business, it also made sense as well. So it was the best of both worlds. We could accomplish our mission faster and in a bigger way, and it was better economics. So we made a very difficult decision to pivot away from a successful and quick growing business to focus on Snack Nation, which is healthy snack delivery for businesses.
So did you said at the time, I think this new business was doing, or this different business was doing about $25,000 a month, right? And your investors were like, wait a minute, what the heck? We bought into a $10 million business. Now, did you how did you convince them, or what did you what was the communication like with them when you were like, by the way, we're going to do this instead?
Well, we just kind of threw some numbers down on a piece of paper and handed it to them.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
That makes sense. That's what I do.
We absolutely put in a lot of deep thought and Excel modeling. We were spreadsheet jockeys for a while to make sure.
Was there a pivot table involved in this?
There is absolutely a pivot table
I just wanted
involved.
to be sure.
Yes, and again, it was the communication to our investors of, look, here's our mission. We want to get healthy snacks out there.
Right.
We have a potential vehicle here that is larger, and then look at the retention data. Look at what this could be. Look at the growth rate that we have. With even on a very small base of 25K, we had significant growth rate happening.
Nice.
And so you extrapolate that out in a spreadsheet. Of course, you can always have something look good going up and to the right.
Most of the things I invest in have this kind of hockey stick thing going on, where
there were many a hockey stick in the projections. But knowing the market and calling on a lot of different B2B locations, we also had that gut feeling that, like, okay, we got to do it. So after 2 weeks of deliberation and a lot of number crunching and convincing with investors, we ended up doing it.
Nice. So now the old business. So in a pivot, you're really changing a business model, right? You're focusing on a different thing in this case. What did you do with the old business that was generating all the revenue?
So the old business, we ended up, because it's a franchise business, there's a stream of revenue that the franchisees are required to pay. So we gave some sweetheart deals to franchisees to get out of the agreements.
Okay, so you just wanted it to go away so you could focus all your attention on this other thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Was it tempting to try to hold on to it because of the revenue?
Oh yeah, 100%. Very tempting.
What pushed you over to making that decision to just kind of go all in?
2 weeks of very difficult deliberation and spreadsheets, and then deciding that, hey, how big are we going to be in the United States and helping people eat more healthily? And we just saw a much bigger picture with businesses than hospitals and schools.
How important was the cause of the healthy trend, or the objective to help people eat healthier, to the investors?
Very important. That's one of the top reasons they invested in us. Now, granted, you have to have a sound business model and economics behind it, but one of the big things that they liked about us is that we're very passionate about this and that we believe in it. I mean, I think that's what you have to do. And I think a lesson for a lot of investors is that you're not always investing in the business model. The top thing is you're investing in the entrepreneurs, because there's going to be pivots. The business they start with is not going to be the business they finish with in many cases.
So how has it worked out now? When was the pivot? How long ago?
That was in early 2015.
Okay, so we're 4 years-ish in right now as we're recording this.
4 years-ish.
How's it going?
It's going great. We've been growing very quickly. We hit number 24 on the Inc. 500 fastest growing companies list in 2018. And there's a need out there. We're seeing a very big need. There's a lot of either no snacks in businesses, or there's a lot of just ho-hum, boring, kind of bad for you snacks out there. And so we're changing that.
And so just so people understand, so what do you do now? What is the business?
So the business, Snack Nation, is in a very, very short phrase, healthy snack delivery for offices.
Okay, great.
Now we're in 6,000 offices nationwide. What we really do, though, is we discover the newest emerging snack brands out there. We taste test about 200 new snack brands every month. We select the top 20 to 30% through a proprietary taste testing process.
Nice.
It's our tasting panel. It's a very coveted position inside Snack Nation.
I like it.
If you're on the tasting panel, you're getting to taste a lot of different snacks. But we have...
do you have like a good snack tasting panel and then one for like determining which ones are bad, so that it's like, I don't like you, you're on the bad panel?
You get all the bad snacks.
Right.
We funnel all 200 through the same people.
All right.
We grade them on set criteria, and then based on those grades, we select the top 20, 30% to curate in our boxes. We then send those snacks out through offices, and we also have a B2C business where we're sending to homes. Bottom line is we collect data on all those snacks. Hey, what's the purchase intent? What did you think of the packaging? What did you think of the taste profile? We get all that data back, compile it into like a SaaS platform. And if you're the snack brand, you get to log in and you can run filters on who's your ideal customer. Is it 30 to 40-year-old females in the Northeast? Is it 60-year-old men in the Southwest, you can see who has the highest affinity for your snacks, and then that helps you target your customers better, know who your customers are, make important decisions about growing your brand, spend marketing dollars the right way, maybe on Facebook, and even approach retailers.
As I said, I would think it would
area.
help. Like you should stock our stuff for shelf space because here's our data, and most people don't have that, right?
Exactly. So we have our own proprietary data set. We have our own distribution network. We're really helping the emerging snack brands grow and make better decisions. And also at the same time helping, about 500,000 employees nationwide eat healthier and better snacks.
Can we talk about the really smart way that you have suppressed your cost of goods sold? Or is that a sneaky thing we can't talk about?
Well, no, absolutely. We can talk about it. It's all, it's all a value exchange, right? And so, one of the ways to reduce COGS is, one of the main benefits that snack brands have when they partner with us is the data, right? And so they're not just sending us X number of units of snacks to include in our boxes. First of all, they're going through the taste panel, right? So they have to pass certain standards. We have 73 banned ingredients that we follow the Whole Foods banned ingredients list.
That's awesome.
So you've got to pass through a bunch of different hoops and filters before you can even be in our boxes. But once you're in there, you're getting out into thousands of offices and hundreds of thousands of people, and then we're kind of collating all that data together so that you can get it back. So there's the value exchange, and in return for that, we expect that we're not going to be paying retail price for those snacks.
That's pretty awesome, though. I mean, that's did you go into it as a data play, or did you discover that there was a data play opportunity once you got in?
We had a very small inkling in the back of our brain, hey, maybe there's some data here, but we didn't start the business with that intent, right? We only learned that once we got to a certain size, like, hey, there's actually an opportunity here to really provide. We're always thinking, how can we provide more value, right? We're a two-sided marketplace.
Right.
How can we provide more value to the offices we serve? How can we provide more value to the brands we serve? And as I think once we got to about maybe 500 or 1,000 members, like, hey, there's more value we can be giving the snack brands here. And that's when we started incorporating more of the data element.
Nice. And recurring revenue wise, how does that model work here?
So if you are an office, we typically 20 to up to 500 employees. We do have some larger accounts, but that's our sweet spot is 20 to 500 employees. You're going to sign up with Snack Nation, and we are going to send you curated snacks on autopilot. Your team can give feedback on those snacks, and then we customize those boxes based on the feedback. So it's an evolving planogram, what we call a snack mix.
Yeah, that's cool.
And as you continue to give us more feedback, the snack mix improves. And then there's also a manual part where if you want to just literally swap out snacks that you don't want, then you can do that as well. So we're going to send you an email with, hey, here's this month's curation, and then you can go online and actually swap out those snacks. So there's customization involved.
Right. Yeah, that's a really cool model. So now we came in to this meeting and this interview initially as a result of you touching base based on a Facebook post I made, and we were going to brainstorm some stuff, and I asked you about it as we were sitting here trying to get our video together, which I don't know if we have video or not. This is our attempt at having a first video show, but
I'm going to wave just in case there is. What's
just
up?
in case. So we talked about maybe kind of doing a live brainstorm of the things that we were talking about. So
yes.
let's do that. Let's talk about where could you use some help in the business right now?
Absolutely. Well, and so, I mean, I thought, and this was a multi-post Instagram because there's a character limit, I guess, on that. And so,
I had to do like five or six. Yeah, exactly.
So I think it was 4-part. Yeah. I literally copied and pasted the content into my Evernote so I could see it all in one. It was actually a pretty long post if you put it all together.
I wrote it on an iPhone too. Figure that one out. That's
a lot of writing. And I think what was such an eye opener for me was it was how to 10x your business or how to 10x your revenue. And there were 4 main kind of constructs or drivers to look at. And I'm literally pulling this off the top of my head. One was raise your prices. One was...
It was actually increase the value so that you can raise your
that you
prices.
can
That's
raise
important
prices.
because we were
Yes.
talking about that, and you were saying, well, I have kind of a price-sensitive market, so I can't just go to everybody and say, hey, we're going to double our prices, because there would be, some people might stay, but there'd be maybe a bit of pushback, right, just to double your prices without adding additional value.
Yeah, I think
right?
for products that are, we're absolutely not a commodity because we have unique snacks that no one's ever heard about.
Right.
But it is a commoditized business. So yeah, that's a little tougher. When you're talking about info products or consulting or things like that, I mean, like everyone who's doing info products and consulting, like you can raise your prices and test that.
Right.
And,
Okay.
and
So
usually
that
get
was
away
step
with it.
one. Do you remember step two?
Step two was it was revenue expansion. So launching into other products, other services that you can do,
Or other markets.
or other markets.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then three was...
Now you're getting into the cobwebs.
Okay. So I as I recall, three was partnerships. I think that was
Yes,
was
partnerships is in
partnering,
there,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, and I've left my glasses. on
And
the
there's
other side.
also partnerships and acquisitions.
And acquisitions was number 4. There we go. Okay, so now we've got them. We've collectively crowdsourced from our crowd of 2 people here what those steps were. So let's talk about that. So you read that and you were thinking, I'd really be interested in doing that because you would like to increase the amount of revenue right now because it would help you to do some of the things you want to do. So let's talk about these 4 things. Does that sound cool?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about, is there additional value that you could bring to these clients that you've got right now that would allow you to increase your prices?
Yes. Well, that's actually the toughest one for me to wrap my head around with the increasing of the prices, because when I think about extra value, we can absolutely ship coffee and beverages and start doing more full
that'd be
service
product
stuff.
expansion,
So
right?
that'd be product expansion. When I think about just the pure snacks and the value that we provide, I think it's very fairly priced. I struggle with that one. So I don't know if there's some ideas that you have.
Maybe. Let's talk about it. So, so the snacks that you've got right now, I guess the thing would be, are there things, because snacks can be, let's just say that you provide some sort of consumable food that that office folks like. Okay, let's start with there. So, is there a different kind of food that would have a higher margin? Now, you've done something amazing because your margin's almost zero, because to the extent they're giving you things for free, that's that. But you do have a price that you charge. Is there an average price that you charge to these businesses for the subscriction?
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 different pricing tiers: value, gold, platinum. Right.
Okay.
Platinum is the super artisanal, small batch type of products. Those boxes are typically $3.99 a month. Our gold box is more it's like a custom picked basket out of Whole Foods, would be a good comparison for that. That's $2.99. And then our value box, which is more, it's like better for you Costco type items at $1.99 a month.
Okay, so $1.99, $2.99, $3.99. So one of the easiest things to do, how does it skew typically, if you don't mind sharing, percentage-wise of takers on those 3 different products?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ballpark, it's like 5% platinum, so super niche, and then gold is the middle tier is kind of the lion's share, and then value is probably 20-30%.
Okay, so that fits in line with pricing studies that I've seen that basically show if you give 3 options, one option being a higher premium kind of thing, people will typically take the middle. If you give 2, they take the low one. If you give 3, then they'll typically take the middle one. So one of the things that we would be able to look at here would be, how do we convert more people who are in the 20 or 30% that are taking the $1.99 box into the middle and upper? And so I don't know, because you obviously have lots of great data on your market, but what I would be thinking about would be, what can I do that would make the middle offer more appealing, because I'm going to effectively increase my revenue by 50% simply by upgrading those people to that level. Are the places, the offices that are consuming this, selling these to their employees, or is it just they just give them to their employees?
Vast majority, 99% plus, it's a free perk for employees, so they're giving it to them.
Great. So I would say, if there's anything else of value that you could think of that you could add into that box, that would be the first thing that I would say is into that middle product, so that you could, or maybe it would even be taking something away from the lower end product so that it was less appealing. So you would push more people into the middle product. That'd be the first thing that.
What we've done is we've done full customization now for that middle product.
Okay, great.
That the bottom product does not have.
Okay,
so you're able
fantastic.
to choose the snacks. So
Okay.
we've added that in. We've talked about a membership site where we're actually incorporating content. We have a B2B blog that's approaching 1 million readers a month now. And so there's a lot of content for office managers and executive assistants to help them with their job. And we were thinking about repurposing that content, putting it into a membership site, make it, password so that you got to get in and it's valuable. I mean, it's valuable content, but kind of putting a different wrapper on it, and adding that as part of the Gold Box program as well.
Yeah, I like that, and also, so any kind of informational product that you could put in that the business would be willing to pay a little bit more for, and then you would say, what is the value that you could give? So what's the benefit that's going to translate from this new thing that you're offering them to make it better for the employer and the employee? Would there be any kind of program or any kind of health tracking or something like that that would allow that you could provide as part of your program that would allow the employer to lower their benefits costs, for example? That kind of stuff would be,
and that's huge, and that's we haven't figured out the way yet.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a very logical argument to have your feed your employees healthier snacks and your healthcare costs should go down, but it's very tough to measure that.
Healthcare costs and show up rates.
And
So
show up rates, yes.
maybe providing studies with respect to when your salespeople are selling, to say, look, it's $100 more for this box, but the benefit to you is that we've got studies that show that when you get into this kind of level of quality of stuff and people are consuming healthier snacks, their tardiness and their absentee rates go down. Therefore, productivity goes up. Also, providing your employees with significant benefits like this that are healthy keep them in the office longer, and therefore they're not leaving for other things. So one of the things that you might do is think about moving to more substantial snacks. So you could increase the price by adding the value of, hey, don't go out to lunch.
Grab a pro bar or something. Yeah, meal replacement bar.
Yes, yeah. Because I don't know do you do meal replacement bars now?
In our platinum box, we're doing more.
All right, now see, now we're getting somewhere,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
So that might be the thing, is maybe it's maybe you say, look, we have a whole program that is an office productivity enhancer, and part of the program is that we keep the people there longer by having them decide that they want to do this. And so maybe there are some things that would be interesting for at lunch people to get together and do that would be team building-ish kinds of exercises along with the meal replacement. And even if it wasn't every day, because that might get old, it's twice a week we're going to do this team building exercise. And so in this box, you get that. It's only $100 more a month, but think about what a consultant would cost. If you brought a team building consultant, it would cost you $10,000, and then show some benefits like that. That might be a way to increase value that they haven't thought about, but it would be valuable to the employer. They wouldn't be like, yeah, I don't just want to pay an extra couple $100 a month to have nicer snacks, but I do want to pay if my employees get engaged, if my employees stay in longer, if it saves them the time of walking to the downstairs deli that has processed meats that they're going to eat for lunch. Maybe we can actually help win-win-win in that the employer is willing to pay more, the employee is happier because they don't have to leave. You give them quality things. It opens a new group of data data companies, from the snack providers to the health bar or the meal replacement kinds of things. And now you're giving them a variety of cool things like that. What do you think about that?
Mind blown. No, absolutely. I think having those additional non-snack value add items to the box, that's awesome.
Okay.
And team building activities is a big keyword for us, and it's important in the office. So I love it.
Okay, sweet. And there's data. That's what's cool, is there's data, since you're a data company that supports it, which would also potentially give you additional data to sell. So you could basically think about companies that provide those kinds of services, to go to them and say, let us also test your team building programs, your assessments, your things like that, and sell them data on what people like and don't like and value and don't value. So give you an additional customer for your data, potentially doing that as well. Just another.
Absolutely, and we're launching an in-office app relatively soon here, where all the employees are going to be able to rate the snacks, and then that feeds up to a central dashboard for the office manager, so they can make better snacking decisions. And we can also use our machine learning algorithm to recommend better snacks for that particular office based on the feedback.
So,
and I could foresee some of this team building stuff be part of that app too.
Yeah, that's it exactly. So to me, that would be the thing: is you say, okay, we've got our $199 box, that, and maybe you can raise that, maybe you can't. You might find that that you want it to be a little bit higher just because you also don't want people to take it, right? And then that doesn't include the app or the value add stuff. The next step up is the $399 box that does include the value stuff. Now, if you could do that and push more people into the sweet spot of the middle box at $399, now you've effectively doubled your sales, which was our goal right here. And with the value of the app plus and the app would have lots of users, so that's an easy sell. You can say, typically, and you just put that on the App Store and say, so basically, here's the team building, etc. app that would productivity enhancing and leadership app, because leadership's a big thing too, right? So maybe it's leadership productivity, and you can build in skills that you can basically say, during these sessions, we're going to, they're facilitated sessions. We give you the plan. So the app is included in that level. It's not included in just the snack program, but really the best way to get to know somebody is to break bread with them. And, in this case, we're not breaking bread because we're anti-gluten or whatever, but we're going to break health bars or whatever, right? That would be something to think about. And then you still have your platinum box that's $4.99 or $5.99 or whatever. So you still get the benefit of that pricing strategy of 3 boxes. There will be 5% probably still that take the super platinum box because it's super cool. And I mean, that might be a way to go. So
yeah,
I'd love it. To try that and revisit and see what happens. So, okay. So any other thoughts on
No, that's
that?
great. Good paradigm shift.
Okay, awesome. So then let's go to the second thing, which is product expansion. You already have ideas around that. Tell us, you want to?
Yeah.
Are you okay sharing some
Sure.
of that? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you look at offices across the country. I mean, we're only delivering snacks right now, right? We've and that's on purpose. We said, part of growing a business and being an entrepreneur is saying, hey, we need to be ultra focused. We've had opportunities to expand in other areas, and no, we are snacks. We're now at the point where we're thinking of, hey, there's a lot of other value that we can provide offices, such as beverages, such as coffee, even consumables, toilet paper, paper towels, some of the stuff that people buy from Staples on a regular basis, those sort of consumables. So there's opportunity there, and then there's also challenges. Beverages are heavier, they're harder to ship. Sometimes you need trucks on the road to do that kind of stuff. So there's opportunity, but there's also it's just a different business model for us to put trucks on the road, right? So that's what we're considering. Okay, but that's absolutely expansion right there.
Yeah. So and if you did it, you feel like you could probably double your sales doing that.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe assumption.
Okay, so then let's go and say, okay, who already has the delivery system in place so that you wouldn't have to have that equipment and expend that capital yourself?
Yeah. Well, there's the easiest answers are some of the already well-established food service companies, but there's some competitive issues there. So,
is there a food service company that is not, or is there an office products supply company or somebody else that's not delivering coffee, tea,
printers, office supplies? That would be the category that I'd look at.
Okay. So that would be the thing I would say is who's got that distribution network that would allow you to tap into that? That would be thing two, really. Thing one, the easiest way would it be possible simply to establish an affiliate relationship with somebody that's already selling coffee that's a healthier, higher quality that would appeal to these offices? Would it be possible? I don't know. Does Starbucks sell coffee to offices?
They do.
Okay.
It's usually through other channels. I don't know if they sell direct.
Okay. So maybe there's an opportunity to partner with Starbucks and you got 6,000 offices. That's a pretty interesting cohort for them to test, and maybe, that would be what I'd be looking at. Is I'd talk to the places that people are already going to get their high quality coffee, the Coffee Beans and Starbuckses and places like that, and see, is it possible, do they have anything in place? If they do, can I be an affiliate? If they don't, can you do a pilot program with them so that they potentially have access to millions effectively of more customers and buyers, and they have captive markets because those people are going to drink the good coffee in the office.
I like it. Yeah.
So that'd be something to think about. The other would be, to the extent that you were going to talk to the printer company, office supply companies, paper companies, how could you package up your goods so that it was the same kind of packaging, right? So that the delivery isn't bizarre, that it fits into their whole thing. I know when we were doing an Amazon company, we were selling motorcycle parts to Amazon, and we had all these extensive packaging guidelines that Amazon had. The package has to be like this, and these are the dimensions, and all this other stuff. And but they do that because they're really smart at logistics, right? For delivery, Amazon is. So I would think the same thing for you to conceive of an innovative box or packaging that would allow the printer company person who's used to taking the box that's, a meter by a meter or 3 feet by 3 feet or whatever, into the office, and yours is just one more box like all the other boxes, and then the people get it, and it has effectively the, how to unbox and consume and set it up and all that kind of stuff. So that I really like the idea of tapping into those other distribution networks. That's been something we've done time and time again, and I think there's enough people that are going there, and it might be people that you're not even thinking about. Maybe it's a temp company. Maybe a temp company is supplying people, and nobody's really talked to the temp company about, hey, how do we? You're sending temps all the time, and you've got some sort of mechanism for doing that. There's just a lot of different ways I would look at that. I'd say, what's my list of every single person, everybody that's coming in and out of that office? It could even be deals with the landlord, right? Maybe, maybe there are, or maintenance companies. Maintenance companies all have trucks, and they're sending people every single day.
Yep.
How hard would it be for them to pull out of the truck, the coffee for the next day and just leave it there so it was ready the next morning? That would be something to think about too. Right?
Yeah, lots of different categories there.
Yeah. And then the other thing would be, maybe you could cut a deal with an Uber or a Lyft to have those drivers deliver the those products.
There you go. Yeah, they're ubiquitous now. So
yeah, plus they're everywhere.
Interesting.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Anything else you could think of on that? So that would be for coffee and tea. Are there other
beverages? Yeah.
Yeah, and other beverages, right? So are there other products that you think would work in the expansion? And I don't think you have to limit yourself to snacks, but I really like the idea of, first you build the audience, which you've done, and then you get other people's products who already have all of the hassles of developing, and you get those in there. And it could even be that maybe since you've already got the data level, maybe you just go to the coffee companies that are already providing the products and say, what's your retention rate? Let us help you increase your retention rate by testing the types of coffees and drinks and beverages that you're providing to your customers using our proprietary data system, and either take your data and you as a data company put your survey and proprietary analysis and tasting people and make those available as something that can now be sold independently of your subscription product, right? So we're going to sell data subscriptions now to existing coffee. Who's the biggest provider of coffee and hot beverages to offices right now in the United States?
It's really the category. K-Cups is the biggest category, and then there's lots of different brands that provide K-Cups.
But so let's say maybe you go to K-Cups and say, what's your retention? And maybe they're a public company and it's available, maybe it's not, I don't know. But your average retention is X. What if we can give you an extra 3 months? What would that be worth company-wide to you? Well, if you had the data to be able to test with our data system and surveys and all the stuff that we do, and demographic information, so that you know that people in the Northwest like, coffee that's this. I don't know anything about coffee because I don't drink it, but that, you like coffee with cream, so you should provide more creamer, or you like coffee from Kenya and these guys like coffee from Colombia or whatever, so that we could help you increase your retention by giving you the data that will then allow you to roll out and change your product mix and product lineup for different offices, and that will make them stay longer. Now you're selling a data subscription so you're selling something you've already gotten that you're doing in the food snack business that you've got, but that's going to directly to a competitor or to other people and saying, where are the opportunities for you to expand the data side of your business to provide value elsewhere?
Yep.
Right? Or how could you expand the data that you're already gathering in the surveys and the information that you gather right now to include things that would be of interest to other people that would pay for that data? Maybe what shoes do you wear to the office? What other products do you consume? That kind of stuff, so that you would then have other data buyers, and you only have to add a couple of questions to your data fields, right? Something like that.
Yeah, that opens up a whole world of possibilities right there.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so any other thoughts on those kinds of things on that product expansion list?
Just thinking about content as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the info marketing world, but just how can we package together more content to help our main avatars, or office managers, executive assistants, HR leaders? How can we provide content and training for them to do their job better and to perform better?
So I would say, our company, Digital Marketer, would be for sure interested in that. Why don't we do a test and let's see if you're already in touch with the people that our sales team would have to reach out to. Maybe there's a way to talk to those people about training as well, and a way to
on the Praxio platform.
Yeah, on Praxio, or just straight Digital Marketer, right? So DMHQ. So
yeah, HQ.
You've got marketing people, you've got HR people. So like through Praxio, through our platform Praxio, you could say, we would like to also talk to you about training. I don't know, right? I just like, you're talking to the people who are making those decisions.
Yeah.
What else do those people buy? And how the heck do you get them, to buy more stuff? The other thing that you could do potentially would be put together an association of those people and say, you got 6,000 of them right now, give those 6,000 a free membership for 3 months in the office manager thing. Say, you've already made the decision to get healthy snacks. Here's the way to do other good things for your employees. We have an association. You'll come in as a member for the association, and you'll get a newsletter, and et cetera. And then you can sell sponsorships in the newsletters. You have all kinds of things that you could provide. It might even make sense to give away that. Then you have a higher level of association that those people could belong to. Now you have a captive group of the people that a whole bunch of people want access to.
When you say newsletter, you mean a physically printed newsletter?
Mm-hmm, I do.
But Roland, I thought direct mail doesn't work.
I know. I was telling you a minute ago, I've got a company now that's pushing almost 30 years, right, that I've been doing that. We still send millions of pieces. So it absolutely is
I love it.
Critical to have the physical thing, because nobody else does it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've concurrently we've been building private Facebook groups of our avatars. We've got
now you've got
5,000 to 10,000 executive assistants in one group. We got
so get them
managers.
Get them off of those Facebook groups into some pixeled thing so that you can retarget them and offer them other things and run tests. I mean, I really like the idea of building an association of those people, because boy, there's so much opportunity.
And what else do you see as benefits of what's the WIFM for joining the association besides you get a newsletter, and like, do you see any other benefits out there?
Definitely a hat.
A hat?
Yeah, a hat. Nothing else. No.
Make office managers great again?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, a red hat that has. Yeah, exactly. No. And we're going to build a wall in your office to keep all the people out that you don't want. Yeah, I think that what's in it for them is would be some sort of designation, some sort of training for them, something that makes their life easier. I would interview them, and because you're really good at the data side, I'd just interview 100 of them and say, what's your biggest challenge? What do you need? And then I would have the association provide solutions to those big problems.
Yeah, I think that's phenomenal.
And of course, their employer would probably pay for a membership. So you give them 90 days for free in it, give them, rock them with great stuff, give them a shock and awe package for becoming a member, deliver crazy value, and then let the employer sign up for the $20 a month that it costs to have it. And now there's a pretty significant potential future. And gosh, the value of having the aggregation of those people would be pretty great.
Yeah, I'm blown away at the natural organic conversation happening in these private Facebook groups, and we're moderating, but we're not really doing anything. We're not mediating or trying to ask questions and get conversation going. It's just happening naturally. It's
and those people are lonely. They're usually the enemy in the office, right? They're the people that they have to get budget from. You have to answer to them. They get to say no when people want to take a vacation. I mean, you could be their biggest friend. So I really like that. I think there's a tremendous opportunity there.
Very cool.
So let's go to the third thing, which is partnerships, which we touched on a little bit. What do you see as potential partnership opportunities to double?
I mean, the easiest one and most logical is partnering with some of the larger food service companies. I mean, in order to get some of these bigger deals, we have already partnered with some of the food service companies that are in those offices, right? The offices want the perishables and the salads and the sandwiches and stuff like that we just don't offer. And so we do know that I'm saying this, I'm a little biased, but we do have the best snacks in America in terms of the newest, most emerging snacks. I mean, no one has the curation.
It has to be true because you heard it on the Business Lunch podcast.
I know.
So,
I said it, and then I heard it with my own ears.
There you go.
Yes.
So, okay, so I like that. What about WeWork and shared office spaces? You do anything with those guys?
We do actually. We have we were actually the operator of WeWork's first convenience store. They're basically convenience stores inside the WeWorks. We had a handful of locations.
How'd it go?
It was a different business model than what we're used to with just snacks. There was a lot of other moving parts, and so we're kind of rejigging the concept of what that looks like. But WeWorks they're all over the place.
I would run the numbers and see if there might be an opportunity, since WeWork was open to that, and there's obviously thousands and thousands of shared workspaces. It's very, very popular. Maybe there's a way to create a business opportunity for people to go around effectively, just like the old vending machine routes, right? But to put together a program where you don't have to worry about those moving parts. You sell someone else the right to distribute your products and the business plan for how to do that to routes of those places. And then that becomes a profit center for you on two fronts. One, on the amount that you charge them and to get into the business opportunity. And then the second would be the thing that the profits that you make off the distribution of the products.
So it's an individual going around inside WeWork co-working spaces saying, hey, you want some snacks?
Well, they could do that. That's a little creepy, but I mean, it might work. I'd test it for sure. I was thinking more whatever you already did to get in that they were interested in the pilot program that you did.
Yep. Well, that was through WeWork Corporate, right? And that was just choosing some cherry-picked locations in New York City.
How did it go? Was it good? Because you can say it's a crappy idea. It's okay.
It from a pure food and beverage standpoint, it was great. WeWork's concept is they want to have a lot of products in there from the actual customers inside of their buildings. So some of the startups and stuff, they want to offer those products.
Okay.
Some of the products that maybe people are doing grab and go on the way home. And then
WeWork might not be the one because that sounds hard.
Obscure. Bottom line is there were some obscure SKUs in there that just didn't move.
Right.
And from our experience with being in the industry for so long, like we know you gotta have top sellers in those in a very tight square footage space. You have to have the top sellers.
Right. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So they might not be the one, but of course WeWork isn't the only game in town. So I was just thinking there might be an opportunity to do that. Maybe there is the additional markets are shared workspaces. What are the other places that people that aren't offices?
Well, to stay on the offices real quick, there is a partnership opportunity with landlords.
Okay.
I mean, you think about 50 businesses in one building.
Right.
If we can do a group kind of,
So here's a profit center for you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Or, hey, Mr. Landlord, if you want to be competitive, offer free snacks is part of the lease. Bake it into the lease somehow. Now the office is just like, you want to talk about no churn. I mean, they're in there for the 3-year lease or whatever it is, right?
I love it.
So that's
landlords.
That's something that's land and expand, right? With landlords.
You could give that also. You could go to commercial real estate leasing agents who are communicating with the landlords who already have that and say, here's an additional profit center. You can just add this on to the contract when somebody's signing. When you've got your base of landlords that you're already dealing with. I'm thinking about who has them. There's probably a landlords association. There's CCIM, the commercial certified real estate folks. The people that already have access to that market.
Yeah.
Okay. But I want to go past offices.
Okay. All right.
So where else?
For partnerships?
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like you
What
got
about
something
sports
in mind.
teams? What about
teams?
high school baseball teams? High school, last time I checked, I think 131,000 baseball teams. High school. What about going to
our experience from them? This is not everyone, but the majority of them have no budget, and they're struggling for funds, and they're taking donations, and the moms are doing the bake sales and to raise money and stuff like that. I'm sure there are some in that bunch though that have a budget.
Okay.
Now,
what about
college sports teams, you start getting up there, that's different, right? They've got budget. We're competing with the existing food service that's there at the college.
Okay.
There's some red tape to go through, but that's a possibility as well.
Okay. What about other facilities that like bowling alleys, golf, but mini golf things, other things that have people at them that might be looking for those kinds of things? Are there any other things like that you've looked at?
Yeah, we when you start getting outside of the office, it's tougher. Bowling alley they usually don't have the best selection of snacks there. Usually it works for employees that are 15, 20 employees or more.
Okay.
And also that it's a free perk that the business is giving to the employees.
Okay.
So it wouldn't work for like a bowling alley to sell to their clientele.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of other places, what are other places that fit the office criteria that might not necessarily be an office, but are a different environment that would be very beneficial to. So, there are millions of warehouses around the country. Is that considered an office in your, like?
It's usually, warehouses are tough as well.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
No, this is the whole good thing about having the conversation.
We've had some warehouse customers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't be.
These are healthier snacks, a little bit more expensive than your standard Cheetos and Snicker bars, right? So it's a little bit of a different clientele.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And then I guess the natural thing would be, what about workout facilities?
Yeah, gyms. Mm-hmm. Well, that's where vending machines work better.
Okay.
Because the gym is not giving the snacks to their clientele. They want they want the clientele to pay for those snacks.
Do you have vending machines still?
We don't we sold any routes that we owned, and then the franchisees that are still operating them, they fully own them outright. So
okay.
Yeah.
Are the is the vending machine, like if you were to put one, let's say that a club wanted to have something like that, would the people that provide the vending machine, if there's one already in there, they're stocking the stuff with, like, is there a contract? I'm going to get this out. Is there a contract with the people who have put vending machines in clubs and things like that, where they're stuck buying from who they're buying for, or would there be an opportunity to approach those people on some sort of bulk basis?
Yeah, be a distributor for vending. Potentially, you have to take a look at the economics. Again, when you start talking vending industry, 99% of vending machines are pushing junk food, and they're getting them at dirt cheap prices through distributors.
But not at health clubs, right? That's why
I went even
there.
in health clubs. Actually, the original idea for healthy vending started when my business partner saw a woman get on a treadmill, grab a Coca-Cola from the vending. She grabbed a Coca-Cola from the vending machine, hopped on a treadmill, and started running.
Nice.
And he's like, "WTF?"
Right. There seems to be a disconnect.
We're in a health club, and there's no healthy things to consume here.
Okay.
That's how it started.
Okay. Any other markets that you can think of, and that way we don't get obsessed with this, but because it seems this one's been a little bit harder.
It is. None
which is
that I can think of
surprising
right
to
now.
me because this
I
is
know.
the partnerships level. So who? Okay, so partnerships. Then let's
Okay.
just say how many
Staples,
offices?
right? I mean, we talk about
Yeah, that's
right?
where I was headed. Okay,
And
so
Staples is a challenge because they're selling commoditized products, and we are not a commodity. We are a higher priced item.
okay, but
right?
Staples sells into offices.
Yes.
So is it possible for you to provide an additional profit center for Staples to sell into offices so that when somebody's checking out, they can say, "Oh, by the way, do you want to have nice healthy snacks?" Or just a flyer, or it's on the back of the receipt, or anything like that.
So in the physical stores, that's different. Yeah, we haven't tried anything on the receipts. We've tried a sales partnership with Staples.
Okay.
Where the issue is they have cheaper, like more commoditized snacks that they sell as well.
Okay.
So we were like the premium version of some of those snacks. And
Okay.
when you don't have a fully baked partnership, the sales reps are not incentivized to sell the other person's stuff.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So I'd be looking at who else is selling into those offices and in a rep network kind of thing that would like to have an additional profit opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, that would be something. It's how do you go? How many offices are there in the United States? What's your addressable market?
Our addressable market is a couple million.
Okay. So you got
offices.
6,000 out of a couple million.
Yeah.
There's got to be some big partnerships that we're just not thinking of that we go through when we say, here's everything, here's everybody that everything provides in the office space, and there's got to be something there.
Sales reps that are already selling into businesses nationwide. There's
Yes.
got to be a couple companies that have those.
Yes. Okay, so then let's go to the last thing of the 4 things that were in that post, which was acquisitions. What opportunities would there be for you to expand your market and double your sales through acquisitions?
Yeah, I think again, the kind of the top of mind stuff is if we're looking at potentially offering coffee, potentially offering beverages, what other companies are already doing that. So there's some either acquisition or merger type of conversations that we can have with some companies. So we can team up, right? It also helps retention when you're reducing the number of total vendors that an office manager has to deal with. They
Right.
would rather deal with 1 vendor instead of 4. So you can kind of roll that up and have fewer vendors. So, anyone who's already doing coffee in offices, anyone who's shipping beverages, and then, we look at a lot of the Me Too's that have popped up, right? Snack Nation's been around for 5 years, and at the time there were 0 competitors doing exactly what we do. Now there's probably 10
Right.
that are doing exactly
So some
what we do.
consolidation, roll-up kind of opportunity.
Saying, hey, how many customers you guys have? Do you guys you're getting tired of the business? You want to get out? Let's roll you up and basically just pay for revenue. Essentially,
Right.
is what we're doing there.
Okay, I like that. What about, so there are 7 categories of acquisitions I like to look at. So that's competitors, which is the first and usually the most obvious. The next would be media. Who's got media that has access to all of the market that you've got so that you could so you had their eyeballs and attention? Who's got the attention of these 2 million offices that you want to get into?
Well, yeah, it comes down to who's got the attention of the avatars that we're going after.
Right.
First thing that comes to mind is, HR is a really big market. So there's industry organizations like SHRM, SHRM.
And SHRM's a nonprofit, I think, so that one would be harder to acquire. But there are others, right?
we can leverage their audience by going to their trade shows.
Going back to 3, do we get a partner?
Leveraging their email list, those types of things.
So that'd be a partnership, right?
Yeah.
So that would go back to
so now
3.
we're talking about acquisitions. Okay.
But no, well, it's great. I love that because that might be the the best of the
media
partnership things that we
acquisitions.
talked about. So media acquisitions would be you've got you've seen that there's value in having people who are your avatar in Facebook groups and things like that. Who else has Facebook groups, YouTube channels, Insta accounts, blogs, anything that we would call media? Who's got those right now that you think might be valuable to you for you to have as an owner so that you then would have access to that media full time to push your products and services into the people? Any
research tools that you recommend there besides doing Google searches on how to find those properties?
Yeah, I would probably start with industry publications. So I would Google. And man, you've got access already. So to me, it's a survey question that you just add and say, what do you read? What websites do you go to? Where do you get your information to the people who are your buyers that you already have 6,000 plus of? Yeah. That's the best way to do it because that's primary research, and you'll get an idea because it also has the benefit of being the subset of your buyers, right?
Yeah.
So
that's the best.
It is the best. Yeah. So that's what I would do. I'd want to know that. I'd want to know what trade shows do they go to, all of that, so that you could see these are the media that have my buyer's attention. Okay. And I'll bet you'll find some really good candidates from there. So that would be media. The next thing would be teams. Is there any shortage of resources in terms of team that you have right now that maybe there's another company you could buy and that would solve your challenge of I just wish I had more programmers. I wish I had more salespeople. I wish I had more whatever.
Salespeople would be the only one. We're always looking for high quality sales reps.
Okay. So complementary companies, looking at that list where we said, let's make the list of 100 different products that, or providers that provide into your market.
Yep.
Do any of those have a sales team? Because it might make sense, even if you don't like the product, to acquire the company, stop selling that product, and have them start selling yours. But
interesting.
I look for where's the resource in place that already has the relationships and the contacts that you need, that's already doing this, that you can just buy and then plug and play. That might accidentally get you into another product though as well, which would be kind of cool, because if they're selling paper or whatever else, I don't know, into the market, then there's another product for you right off the bat, right? So then the next thing would be, what are companies, next two categories are companies that are selling products or services to your company now, or companies that are selling products or services to your customer right now. So that would be, are there any other companies that are doing that? So that could be, this isn't media, this isn't team. Now we're talking about the actual products, right? So if you acquired the company that's selling paper or paper clips or, temp services or whatever, would that be something that you could then offer to your customers in addition to snacks?
Well, and by the way, every time you keep saying these categories, and I keep thinking I can partner with some of these as well. Yes. So it's like it's both. It's partner or acquire.
This is great. See, we're finally getting somewhere on the partnership thing by talking about acquisitions. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
So what's in your head?
There's a company. Well, I mean, I'll give Bevy a shout out. BEVI. It's a phenomenal water machine that goes in offices. We use it. We love it. Lots of thousands of other companies love it. I mean, that's an example of like. We're not gonna we're friends with Bevy, so we're not going to acquire Bevy, but right. Like that's a good example as a partner. But something like that, yeah. There's companies that have these automated machine, basically automated refrigerators that as soon as you swipe your card, it unlocks. You grab a salad or whatever in there, nice. You take it out. It knows what you took based on the weight differential and all that, and then you close the door and it charges your card. So there's some cool stuff that's occurring there.
I love that
as well.
Yeah. That's really fantastic. Okay, so now we're getting partnerships through acquisitions. So that's products and services. I'd go through though again and say, what are all the products that you've got that you buy? What are all the services that you buy? Your company too, because that you can acquire up to the people who are providing you with services and products as well, in addition to your market. Then I'll jump down to the supply chain. So would it make sense for you to test some of these smaller companies that are selling snacks, and you go buy that company because you've got the data and you know that this snack is hot? I was reading the story about Flaming Hot Cheetos that they started. This guy that was working as a janitor, the CEO put out a call of Frito-Lay and said, anybody that has an idea, submit the idea. This guy was like, he was a Latino, and he said, there's nothing for my friends. They don't do this. So he went and bought Cheetos in the store and cooked them up with some spices and end up, I think it's like a couple $1 billion of sales now for Frito-Lay, and he's a senior executive vice president from totally nothing, right? Great story.
Yeah.
But is there opportunity for you to acquire snack companies that are kind of up and comers that you see? It's kind of like a stock, right? You see it starting to take off. Can you buy it now, or could you buy an interest in it?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something that we want to be the benefactor of snack brands by getting them distributed into our network, feed them the data back, and then understand which ones are basically who are tomorrow's winners.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, and then distribution would be anybody, any other distributor that has direct access to your clients, which we've talked about kind of in the context of the suppliers. Then the last category is intellectual property. So is there any intellectual property that you could buy? Is there an app that already exists? Is there a copyright, trademark, patent, customer list, anything like that might be out there that you could acquire that you could then fold into your company that would increase sales?
That's a tougher one. I have to think about that one. But there's got to be some opportunities out there.
Definitely something to think about, right? The thing that immediately came to mind for me when you were talking about the machine that they slide their card would be some sort of payment system. So would it be possible for you to get into the payment side of making the life of these office managers easier, either by having payments for the employees to process when they're taking snacks if they're paying for the snacks, or to have some sort of automated payment for everything that they do, consolidating the acquisitions channel for these office managers through some sort of software that you make their life easier. And I don't know. I'm just saying that's something to think about, because that then gets you into a whole different category that has a tremendous amount of opportunity. And I know valuations there are pretty great. So you even maybe thinking about what are the software decisions that those people are making to buy those office managers, and how could you facilitate that? And that might be done through, we talked about an association, that might be done through that, but that'd be another thing to think about, is you could actually blow up a software company pretty quickly by doing that, or you could become a Microsoft VAR or something like that and get acquired by Microsoft because you found a way in to the purchasing decision person that they would like to own. That'd be something to think about, I think, as well.
Absolutely.
On the acquisition side.
Yep.
Okay. So what do you think? How did we do? How did we get anything that did we succeed on all 4 counts, or did we kind of succeed on a couple, or what's your take on that?
I think I've got my work cut out for me here in the next few months to go after all these different ideas you just said. No, I think there's definitely some really good insights here. I'm going to have to listen to this again to take notes and go back through. But I think, the association piece could be really huge. It's, again, we just want to help. We want to help our avatars. We want to help office managers, EAs do a better job, have a better life inside the office. And so, the association like that idea, that helps them a lot.
Nice. So for people who are listening who have offices and want to take advantage of your services, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way is let's send you out a free snack box and let the snacks do the talking. So
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, if you go to, I think we have an offer up for a free snack box on snacknation.com/free123. It's the numbers 123. I know you like to spell the extension. So it's
free and then
free and then the numbers 1, 2, 3.
Number 1, number 2, number 3.
Yes.
Okay. Snacknation.com/123. No.
It's /free.
/123.
3.
Free 123. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can get free snacks. That's a pretty cool thing. Thank you for offering that. And how about for getting a hold of you if somebody wants to interview you, speak with you, talk with you, anything like that, in any direct way? Or
yeah, email address is andy@snacknation.com.
Sweet.
And then I'm on the LinkedIn, of course. So,
Awesome.
And the last name is spelled Mackensen, Mackensen.
It's just you're pronouncing it wrong. It's Mackensen. It's how you pronounce that. So
when I was in the Navy, they used to call me Ensign Mackensen.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Okay. Well, anything else you want to chat about before we take a break?
Nothing, man. Just all of your world travels and your gallivanting, but we can save that for another time.
All right. Thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Roland. Appreciate it.